Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. So why are we telling you not to eat sugar? Why is it bad? Why don't we want you to have just a little bit here and there? This is why. I actually ran out of room as I was listing this stuff out. So it's associated with an increased risk of almost any health, especially chronic health condition that you can imagine. Along with that, we have the energy crashes that gives you these short little boosts of energy and then crashes, and it turns into this positive feedback loop of using sugar kind of as this emotional crutch where it gives you this real quick boost of happiness that is very short-lived before you have energy crashes and actually leads to symptoms and signs like depression and things like that. So a common mistake we see too is people love to bring up and reference specific studies or specific mechanisms that sugar might improve. So I just want to take a little bit and just talk about research and science in general here, and how what we need to do is take the whole scope of what's going on out there. If you're looking for a mechanism or one positive thing, we have to remember that things that we do don't affect one thing. It affects tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of processes and cause and effect things going on in your body. And so even though we can find some positive things that sugar does for you, it vastly gets outweighed by the negative things. The other thing we see too is just the bias in research, and happens in exercise science, this happens in nutrition, it happens in all science. So what we see is company-funded research is more likely to find results from their research that supports what their company is doing. So as far as sugar is concerned, about 80% of studies funded by sugar companies, see, I'm going to get these percentages off, but 80% of studies funded by sugar companies find that sugar has no negative health effects. And then on the flip side is 80% of studies that aren't funded by sugar companies find that sugar has a ton of health effects. So when we take the biases out of it, the research is pretty clear in the direction that it's pointing. Obviously, we don't want to make the mistake of always taking these hard lines and not being open-minded and open to other things. But we also need to take and trust in where the consensus of the research and science is taking us. And in this situation, when we're looking at a whole host of chronic diseases, especially some emotional productivity things that will impact your day-to-day just happiness, we can see that there is a ton of good reasons to ditch sugar other than weight loss and these other things. So just something to keep in mind. We want to keep the big picture, and what we're trying to do here is increase performance, make you look better. We're trying to keep your joints and tissues nice and healthy, and we're trying to take care of that overall health and wellness. So most of this falls into that overall health and wellness, but if we're walking around with energy crashes and inflammation and depression, that's obviously going to affect our performance. The inflammation is going to have a major impact on our joint and tissue health. And then as far as aesthetics go, eating more sugar and foods with added sugar, it just is adding these empty calories to your diet. And although carbohydrate, which sugar is a carbohydrate, can fuel performance, if we're not balancing out, we're not getting enough of the good micronutrients in along with it to really make sense for us to make a performance argument for eating a bunch of sugar while we're balancing everything else out. So I hope this just sheds some light on the big picture of what sugar is doing to us. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.